NFTs. They're really heating up. Oh yeah. Get it, Axes. Ha ha ha. One BTC and 32 ETH.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, audience. Episode 8 of 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum. How are you, Stefano?
All good, thank you.
Very good. Johnny, good to see you again.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Very well. Okay. Been a decent week. Now, we've got Lisa joining us in a moment to go through the leaderboard and have a look at this week's review project, which is crypto artist Vesser, and we've got DCL blogger along as well to look at NFTs. So stay with us, people. First up, meme of the week.
Classic one.
Very good. Very good. So obviously last week's meme was the sexy video from one of the HEX fans. And that's really where we want to start the show, to effectively say thanks to the HEX community. Great donation, giving us something to work with, check out the utility and trade it over the coming months. We've already had somebody tweet out what we've done with our trades. So on that note, guys, why don't we individually go through what we did with that donation from HEX,
which was 245,000 HEX.
Yeah.
One
Cheers
big
for
one
that.
and a small
Well,
one.
look, first up, here's what I did. I've staked the 20,000 HEX till just after the big payday to figure out how that all works. Obviously, I'm a new HEX again.
Big payday. Look at that. 33,000. That's almost.
And I put the bulk 40,000 on my HEX until my 50th birthday. Which, how many days away is that?
1,230.
1,230. There you go.
Oh no, 900 days. 900 days, because it starts at 1. We're at day 322.
Okay, so that's what I've done with my HEX, people. I'm really looking forward to following this project. Obviously, it's had a massive gain in the last week, so that's pretty good place to start. So, Stefano, over to you. How have you played it?
Sure. So to me, I've took a different approach, obviously, because with my portfolio, I'm in general experimenting on liquidity pools on Uniswap. So I put around kind of like 20,000 X on the liquidity pool on Uniswap. And we'll see like how is going in terms of like revenue and etc. The remaining, which is like the biggest portion, around like 40,000 X, I put that into the staking on the website, and it's gonna be on stake on the, I think, the 28th or 29th of or the 24th, something like that. Like basically after couple of days after what the website says on time left for the big payday. Reason for that is I'm learning. I'm trying to figure out things. I'm trying to understand. So, that was like one of the shortest amount of time available to stake. And so I decided to go with that. 35 days. Simple, no too much of a thinking.
All right, well, we'll see how your thinking and thoughts on HEX evolve in the coming weeks. Mr. Gonzo, how have you played it?
Well, let me share my screen. Let me clear my throat. So just to give a bit of detail, we ended up with 241,000, one big donation, right? And then somebody else donated 5,000 HEX. So we split it as a team, right? Each of us got 60,000 HEX, 340. So we went over what Sean and Stefano did, and I did something very similar.
Oh, actually, while you're here, Jordan, just to mention the other quarter of the HEX went to our editor, Jesse. That was sent to him last night, and he is indeed a HEX holder, has been for quite a while. So he's staked that also. So, there we go. There's some utility. We've actually used it as a currency to pay one of our team. So once again, thanks to the HEX community.
Oh, look, he doubled his stake. He had some other HEX.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, he was already a HEX holder.
So he got 60 from us, and then he put in 126. So he's going all in, baby.
Nice.
So on mine, I did something similar to Stefano. I ended my stake on 355, which is 2 days after the big payday. And when you look at it, it's pretty good. 30,000 you put in. The big payday bonus is 50,000. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. And then I put another one down for another 2 years, September 19th, 2022. So I locked that in for 2 years. And yeah, which will be another good payday in the long term. So yeah.
Okay,
excellent.
Excellent.
Kind of matches the same stakes that I've done on my personal wallet. So
okay. Nice one, guys. We'll be looking at this project and all our other projects on the weekly. If you follow the show, you know how it works. So we're going to have a look at how we've traded the other projects and what they've done, any news out of those projects. So stay with us for that. Yeah, as I mentioned, we've got this awesome piece of art from an amazing crypto artist, Visser. So let's have a look at that. And then we're going to get into our trades of the week and our leaderboard. So first up, here's what we got from Visser.
By the way, this is for everyone here in this panel right now. This is an exclusive offer that if you want to get this.
I think what we wanted to do is I buy it together for our Wednesday shows.
The legacy art world wasn't really interested in digital art because there wasn't, again, a way to monetize it. So many brilliant artists have not become mainstream or great artists, even though their substance has been great, because there was no way for these institutions to monetize their work, who can now, of course, flock into the art space.
So Visser, for example, me using a piece of your art as my background on LinkedIn, which I completely ripped off from you, by the way.
I support this.
Where are we? Thanks, man. But where are we, how far down the track is it that those sort of things will get picked up?
I just actually, for the first time in my life, I ever flagged someone who it just casually came in my Instagram feed that some cafe, I think it was in Switzerland or something like that, had taken multiple of my art pieces and made them into advertising about their cafe for some events and DJ things and whatever. And this person was clearly aware of me because they were from both of my platforms, these different art pieces, and hadn't tagged me into any of these adverts or ever gotten in touch with me. And I think that crossed the line.
It's the question of like, what does an NFT represent in terms of rights? Does it give you just the display rights? Does it give you some sort of like, can you be tangible with it? Can you mess around with the files? So we're still in that formative phase, I think.
And Lisa, welcome back again. Great to see you.
Hello.
It is time for the leaderboard. It's great to have Lisa with us today because I suspect there's been some pretty good action on the primexbt accounts, but we'll get to that momentarily. Interested to see whether Mr. Gonzo repeated his 100% efforts of last week. Okay, so anyone following this show will know that last week we reviewed the very controversial project HEX, and that is indeed my trade of the week. How could it not be? Up 30% since we got it. What did I do with it? I've staked a third of it until the big payday, and the other 2/3 I have staked until my 50th birthday. No, that's not in 18 years. It's in 2.5 years. So yeah, that's what I've done with my HEX.
Is it going to be around in 2.5 years?
Well, who knows? But that's how long
Are you going to lose all your money? This is crypto. And that's HEX.
We shall see. We shall see. Moving into my wallet. Ampleforth. Lisa and I had a bit of a giggle about this the other day. I'm still holding it. It's actually up on the week for me. Nice 16% gain. Axie has made a nice little move up also. BTC. Nice. Well done, BTC. Bonk. Good God, getting absolutely killed on that this week, but I've staked it during the week. Got a few dividends there. I'm going to hold it. I like the project, but yeah, massive disappointment this week. DMG down heavily again. No news there. Ferrum up 20%. Very nice. PAMP, I actually tried to sell PAMP. Had enough of that project. It's done nothing but go down. Next up is my primexbt account. That's up. Thanks to Lisa and my copy trade, a very nice 16%. Yeah, here's a look at my weekly trades. PAMP, as you know, I'm trying to sell that. Ample Fourth, I'm holding. Fascinated to try and figure it out. Stake, project I like, as you know. Bonk, I do like it. I've held it. And yeah, HEX was the other one I've just mentioned, up massively. In fact, HEX is the biggest mover in pretty much the top 200 cryptos from what I quickly had a look at, up 30% on the week. Here is my overall portfolio, up 20.7%. So yeah, good week all round. Mr. Gonzo, over to you.
Hey, all right. Well, this week, very similar to the last week, except for the addition of HEX. So let's see, my trade of the week, again, is Prime. I'm about 50% up right now with a couple positions open on BTC and Ethereum. So that's going good, and it's still going up. So me like it a lot. So my wallet, you know, we got the addition of HEX there, which is very nice. And then that started pumping. I staked all my HEX, a couple different lengths. I got the new VESA in there. Everything else is just a hold. The Prime trades, as we talked about earlier, I'm just doing the margin. So I've been trading Ethereum USD and Bitcoin USD. So this has been all both going really well. Weekly trades, other than that, I didn't do anything. Held my Axie, held my Bonk, held my ETH, everything else, just holding pattern, waiting. Portfolio value, 27% up, which is very nice. All buoyed by my Bitcoin. So starting to get the hang of the trade, the primexbt there. Having a good week. Hopefully another one coming up here. And actually currently, as we're speaking, Bitcoin just broke 12.3.
Yeah, just on that note, we are recording this on a Wednesday afternoon. We do our best to get it out to you as soon as possible, but obviously there's a lot of editing that goes into this. So just a heads up, when we're talking price here, it is at midday, Singapore on a Wednesday. Bitcoin at 12.3. Wow. Stefano, you're up.
What's up? So trade of the week is basically like a copycat of yours, Sean, with X. Kind of like destroying everybody else at the moment in terms of return. So pretty good on that. On the wallet right now, if you're checking the address, is basically like almost empty, simply because like I'm starting staking everything. DMG is on Uniswap, X a part is on Uniswap, the other part is stake on the platform. Pump and Bonk are staked as well. Pump is giving me like around 10 pump a day on dividend, so that's pretty good. primexbt, I'm still like not doing anything with, especially with BTC moving up, and pretty happy with that. Overall, the other trades on the weekly, no trade, just like keep that strategy of like staking, see like what return I can get from the Uniswap and kind of like the entire values on those. And the portfolio value overall is up thanks to one, the free tokens from the staking, and two, from the big move of X on that side. So quite happy overall.
Okay, very good. Right, so let's have a look at our overall holdings. Here it is, the new kid on the block at the top, HEX. A big gain since we got it, so pretty happy with that. And obviously, Vesser has kindly given us that awesome NFT. We're talking amongst the team about investing some of these funds into a second one. So stay tuned to see if we do that.
Well, on the Axis side, there is like not really a lot of movement in the market. There is like a little bit of increase in supply, but prices are pretty much what they were like last week. So that's quite all right, I would say. Bonk is going down in price, it's true, but every single holder received a wrecked NFT. ARG is actually doing like quite good, to be honest, like compared to like all the movements and so on. This week has like a little bit of a red, but overall it's kind of like performing very well. Privacy coins are still like pretty strong on that. Ferrum had an amazing week, kind of like bounced back from the previous week on that. I'm still not able to testing out on the staking, but we
launched
yeah.
FRMX, their governance token, last week, right?
So on Pump, I joined the liquidity that is like the Bonk Pump liquidity pool. It started like a little bit slow, but then like by day 20, pretty much, I started making 10.7 pump return a day for free, and it's staying pretty stable at that point. So it's true, value is going down, but overall, compared to like what I'm getting, I'm actually in the green with pump. So pretty happy with that.
Lisa, have you still got your DMG?
No, hell no. 81% not down.
You know what it
is? Shit.
I think Stefano
It depends when you bought it. You bought
Stefano
it,
can cover it because
8 weeks ago, like we did, it's really shit. If you bought it yesterday, it's looking like shit. So given the fact we've sort of timestamped things, let's have a chat on price. Lisa, where's BTC heading in your opinion?
Well, we've just hit a major resistance. So it could go either way at this point. So if we can pass this major resistance, so we're on a channel resistance and a diagonal resistance here. So this is quite a major resistance. Can I say resistance one more time?
resistance.
Yes, resistance. Yeah. So if we can't pass here, we're going to head back down and retest probably around 11,200. That's where our MAs are sitting on the 4 hour, and that's where we've got a support as well.
I'm going to put both of you on the spot because you're both in active trades. Come on, what, Johnny? You first. What are you going? How are you playing this one? What are you going to do?
I'm watching, waiting for Lisa's 12K dump, and then I'll sell. My entry is quite good at 1168. So I'm still in profit here.
Yep.
And if it breaks out, I'm just going to buy some more and ride it.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it'll go a little bit sideways here. We've had 150 million in Tether printed overnight. So yeah, so there's a lot of power behind BTC right now. We can see on a lot of the exchanges that it's hidden orders, so it's not actually sitting in there, and we're just seeing it sort of pump through and grind through. So we've got quite a big buy wall at 12,210 on Bitfinex, I can see. So I can't see any of that stuff on Prime, which is kind of really annoying, but you know, they don't have where the market's sort of sitting and that sort of thing. So I trade on Bitfinex as well, so I can see where those buy walls are sitting, unless they're hidden buy walls. There's quite a few hidden buy walls sitting there on Bitfinex at the moment as well. So we did have a major sell wall on there, but it keeps moving. So and it keeps moving up. At the moment, it's sitting at 12,470 on Bitfinex. So obviously this is, you know, it's Wednesday. So whenever this gets shown, but we're seeing a correction right now, but it doesn't look like it's a massive one. We've had quite a big dump on Bitfinex, and it's only moved like $200. So not even. I think it's, hang on, it's moved $75. So yeah, it's not massive. So I think for now, we're going to continue up a little higher. I've got a 12,519 target on Bitfinex on this wave. There's lots of liquidations. I did get a little bit of a whisper last night that there was a lot of Tether about to be printed. And I put that on Twitter, and everyone told me, as usual, that I'm wrong. So I went, okay, guys, just short 12K, you'll be fine. So I'm sure they're all feeling the pain.
Thought you were talking bull.
How's your gap doing?
Yeah, how's your gap doing, guys? And how's your new 11,200 gap doing? It's like, yeah, there's no gaps. So
wide open.
Yeah, so Bitfinex shows all the liquidations, and it's crazy how many liquidations
You're crushing
are showing.
Crypto Chico again, Lisa.
Yeah. So Crypto Chico has been, you know, It's like gaps are coming down. It's coming down for the gaps. So we're actually starting to see a little bit of correction actually here on Bitfinex right at this point in time. So it has dropped another $100 since I've been talking. So
Whoa.
but
Actually, we'll come back to the price at the end of the show then.
yeah, but we've still got
Lisa?
that buy wall. So we've still got a massive buy wall
Right.
at 12,210. So yeah.
What do you think about Ethereum, Lisa?
Ethereum is
EFA,
EFA.
UFD.
EFA is on a strong resistance as well. So I will throw up a chart actually. So let me share the screen.
EFAs.
EFAs.
Thanks once again to primexbt for coming on with us for another month as well. Mr. Gonzo got wrecked, but he has bounced back.
As I said, I
massively.
would.
Yeah, so we can see this is Ethereum and we're under this diagonal resistance right here. So, but the thing is we've had strong support on the MAs. This is a 12-hour chart, so this is a high time frame. I do expect that we're going to sort of break out of here, which, you know, if we have a quick look at the BTC chart, we've hit perfectly on this target, which is in blue. So, you know, we've got a buy wall on Bitfinex at around this region, which is the previous channel support, which makes sense. So, you know, we might drop in here. We could drop to the bottom of this at this point. So, you know, depending, we've got two patterns on both charts. So we could see this blow through after correcting within this region, or we could see a greater drop to complete a C wave. So if it does have a greater drop, it's going down to about 10,300. A lot of exchanges had a lot of BTC moved across last night, which at the same time, we also had the tether printed. So the BTC can sit there until it reaches the targets and then they can just market sell. So it hits and it market sells. So, you know, that's kind of what we're looking at right at this point in time. So it's a critical region that we've hit. And, you know, this determines whether we go to 14 to 16K at this point, or if we correct down to the 10,000 sort of ish mark. So if we do correct down to the 10,000 ish mark at this point, then we do have USA have their stimulus package, which is coming into effect. So, you know, it's a good opportunity to buy BTC at that lower reduced price and then continue on. So either way,
I would
winning.
definitely be buying that dip if that happens, Lisa, for sure.
Yeah, so I've got my stops in massive profit, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Awesome. Exciting times. So, Lisa, I'd love you to hang around for the rest of the show, where we're going to be talking about NFTs and crypto art. Maybe something you might learn a little bit from the boys here. So, look, on that note, we spoke with one of your Aussie compatriots the other day. His name's DCL Blogger. He's a real leader in the NFT space, and obviously Visser, a good friend of the show, been on many times, an amazing artist who's really gone fully into crypto art now, got that collaboration with Brittany Kaiser. So that's going to, you know, that's yet another thing that's really putting crypto and blockchain right out there to a big audience. So well done, Visser. Here's a look at another short clip from that interview and the long form interview that we did. And I strongly encourage you to watch it. I think there's some great stuff in there. There's a link to that below also. So first up, let's have a look at the short clip, and then we're going to discuss crypto art and NFTs.
So what the crypto space really means for me is that for the first time, probably in our monetary history, there has been an army of artists who are giving content and substance in order to try and help people understand of why our monetary system is in a crisis and what the solutions might be to it. And most importantly, the solutions. But now if you look at the Wikipedia definition of crypto art, all of that has been washed away And there's this guy who is maintaining that page that sort of deletes everything to do with ideas, ideology, or the substance of crypto art away from it. And it's now all of a sudden just becomes something about tokens and everyone just tokenizing something on the blockchain. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. It's just that washing away the most important part of its history has become, I think that's just super wrong. So you can have, let's say, some artists who might be inspired by, if they first understand the problem of the whole of the monetary system, and then they get why Bitcoin is important, then they usually, everything else is just details. They're going to want to figure out how NFTs work and all of those kinds of things, because they might want to be a part of such an important moment in our history where this monetary evolution is upon us. Now, the second thing is that then the artists, this being an incredibly difficult venture to be a part of to begin with, because of, you could say that artists are kind of like startups, but without funding, and usually for about a decade without any viable product as well. So it's an incredibly difficult thing to make a living out of. So even just telling artists that, oh, by the way, you can take a picture of the painting that you took. If you're not a digital artist, then there was just yesterday that some guy sold one digital token with their art associated for 50 grand, and you will see a cavalry running towards you of people just being needing to making a living.
Right. So thanks once again, Vesa, for donating that wonderful piece of art to the team. So I guess, guys, the first thing to start with here, maybe let's look at crypto art. Johnny, you're obviously in the space. So from an artist point of view, you maybe want to give us a few comments about what we've got from Vesa. Obviously, we're going to be looking at it on the weekly, different aspects of the industry and NFTs. What are your thoughts on specifically his piece of art and the overall space and the values and how to figure out what's worth what?
I mean, I'm an artist, but I have no idea how to evaluate art. It's such, I mean, it's the same thing with the traditional art market. You know, it's like, why the hell is this worth so much money? And this is worth nothing. You know, I really respect Vesa and I like what he's doing. He does some really cool stuff, mixing the media, like his nice paintings. And then, you know, he takes the photos and then he takes those photos and cuts them up in Photoshop and layers it. It's similar to the stuff that I do, but I don't hand paint my stuff. I digitally paint my stuff. I haven't done traditional artwork for so long. I mean, I draw with my kids when I teach on a whiteboard and paper, but I haven't actually sat down and done a finished piece. So I'm inspired to see what he's doing. You know, I'm not 100% sold on the NFT art market right now, because I just seeing the amounts of money that's getting thrown around, it's just like, whoa, and I'm still not like convinced, you know, that it's not a bubble. Seeing how everything in crypto gets so overvaluated and then just crashes down. I'm certainly not buying any NFTs. But like, I don't buy traditional art either. So I think, you know, it's a great piece that he did, and I'm super excited that he gave it to us. You know, as a showpiece, it's great. And I think it will be a good long-term investment. But as far as like, I think it's just a little bit of a slower time frame for me. You know, I wouldn't go and like, I'm not shopping for NFTs right now as far as like art pieces. I'm more interested in like, you know, it's the same thing with crypto. It's like use case versus like, you know, interpreted speculative value, and art and crypto, two speculations together. It's just,
yeah, I mean,
I prefer using the stuff that you can use, you know, like I can load it up and it does something, you know, like I remember we asked DCL Blogger, I'm like, what do you do with it? It's like, oh, it's in my wallet. I'm like, you don't even have it like displayed on something, like you paid, what was it, 4 or 5 ETH for something?
Well, like, this is my position on it. The guy was a very well-known artist before coming into the crypto space.
Yep.
You know, his pieces sell for 6 figures off. I believe there's some on the market for 7 figures. So owning someone like that who's coming fully into the crypto space, who's doing big things with other well-known figures like Brittany Kaiser, you know, that's real crossover material. And I think owning a piece of his story, you know, as DCL Blogger said, you know, really it is about building building your sort of crypto community. But that guy's, he's very much that sort of crossover artist. I put him up there with Banksy, and I think it's awesome that we've got something from a guy like that. I mean, you mentioned before, okay, Bonk's down, but I get a Bonk NFT. Have I actually sort of acted on that and filled in the form to get a Bonk NFT? No, I haven't. And I want to learn a bit more from you guys right now about what exactly this Bonk NFT is and how I would value that. I personally, not because Vesser is a good friend of mine, but he's a great artist. And I think having something in these early days that we can clearly show, okay, we got that, we own that in these early days. I think that potentially really could be worth something. Absolutely, I could. How do I put a value on the Bonk NFT? I don't know. Maybe, Stefano, you can sort of comment on that. I know you've got 150 odd NFTs. So give us your thoughts on Vesser's NFT that we have, and how the hell do we value these other NFTs out there?
Well, to me, the point goes in a completely different way than what you guys were discussing, which means that if I'm considering tangible things like, an Axie, a piece of land on Decentraland, a horse on Zed, things that actually I use to make more money and that I get a return, then, I can flip that, I can trade them, there is an interest, blah, blah, blah. And so
I fully understand that, but really what I'm asking you is, so the Bonk NFT is a piece of art, correct? It's not a use, there's no use for it.
Well, to me, a Bonk NFT is it's a piece of a collection where I'm seeing that. It's a different thing than a piece of art in the sense of a paint. For example, what I bought on the show from Vesa that we recorded yesterday, or the one that he donated. That's that's hard. While Bonk NFTs to me are the collection point of view that takes the value, at least from my point of view, on the side that they show exactly how close you are to a project. You can hold a token, make your money, your return, and so on. But the simple fact that now you can start holding the tokens and do your trading and so on. And on the other side, also start collecting these NFTs for the different stages of the project shows for how long you're being involved in that project, how big of a supporter you are, and so on. Kind of like that stamp that you will receive if you're going to an event and things like that. Yeah. And to me, it's a personal thing. I don't put a value to that because it's something that, one, I like collection. I collect Tokidoki's figures. So I like collecting things in general.
So the Bonk NFT is going to have value for those sort of collectors of the
what's the Tokidoki?
Yeah. Tokidokis are little figures that are made by a designer from Rome that takes a Japanese style, a cartoonish aspects of that.
Yeah. Like monies?
Pretty much, yeah. They're super small. You got different collections, different stuff. They cost $20 each. And
look, it's a little cute Wolverine.
Have you got any sort of collections from when you were either a kid or now, or
who, me?
Yeah,
I've got oh my god, no, I think 5,500 Beanie Kids, bears. These.
You guys, oh nice.
You have how many?
I think 5,500 of them. So they're bears, and they're all dressed in different outfits.
You guys.
So yeah, I used to have a room. In my house that I sold just for my Beanie Kids.
So the NFT. So Stefano, sorry to cut you off, but I'm just sort of trying to compare, that physical collection of something to, say, the Bonk NFTs. At least it's got 5,500 of those. So it's a similar type sort of psychology, I guess, isn't it?
It is. At least to me, especially when you start having this series, it becomes a thing where let's say that there are 10 and you have 8. Don't you want to get the remaining 2? Come on, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. It's most people, I think, at some point in their life, collect something. Arthur Hayes collects Jelly Kids. So they're a UK brand, stuffed toy. So yeah, so he had them in his hotel.
You swap your Beanie Kids with his Jelly Kids?
It was a funny conversation that I had with him. So about Beanie Kids and Jelly Kids. So yeah, what were better?
Right. So Jordan, what have you been a collector of?
Well, I got some hard luck stories for you guys. when I was a kid, I mean, my first job was, well, second, third job was working in a comic book store. So I got tons of comic books.
Oh, I've got tons of comic books too. I've got like 1,000 Phantom comics.
Oh my God, Lisa, we're learning some new stuff about you today. Wow.
Yeah, I've got
And then
lots of those.
I used to collect Magic the Gathering, had boxes of that shit. Baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards, hockey cards, all that stuff. But my hard luck story is, you know, when I grew up and then I moved to the big city. Within a year of moving to the big city, some dickhead broke into my storage locker and stole all my comic books.
No.
So angry.
Ooh.
Yeah, classic big city trash.
Yeah, I've got like all the Phantom ones. I've got DC comics. I've got, oh my God, so many.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting, Lisa. I mean, so are you, what's your understanding of what's happening in the crypto space then with all these collectibles and NFTs? Is it something you've looked at?
Yeah, so this is why I started looking into this multi-universe theory, because
Beanie Babies.
Yeah, so Beanie Babies in like space, sort of, or whatever. So it's like, so this multiverse theory that Sean Carroll, and it's quantum physics. So, you know, obviously maybe we're not real. So maybe we are just a big giant Sims game here and somebody else is controlling it. So yeah, it's, I don't know.
We might be collectibles in a parallel universe.
We could be. We could be.
Someone's still trying to get the Stefano.
Some dude's got the whole hard forking collection.
I
got a Lisa.
That people
traded
would
my
like
extra
put
Lisa for
free
Johnny.
ads online and be like, this one is for free. Whoever wants to pick it up.
Yeah, I'll swap you a Stefano for a Lisa. It's like, maybe I want a Johnny Gonzo for a Sean.
So, but have you sort of gone into any, looked at any NFTs or?
No,
I mean, obviously
I haven't.
You haven't.
No, I think that the Axes, you know, they were interesting, and if I had more time in the day, then I'd probably look into some of this stuff. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to get my Bonk NFT because I haven't really. I mean, we've now obviously got.
You missed it.
Too late.
Oh, too late.
Now the only way that you have to get that is by buying that on OpenSea.
Stefano, did you? I got two of them. I got one for my personal wallet and one.
Well,
for
this is interesting. How much does it cost me to buy it then?
I checked my personal one and I received that. I know that I fulfilled the form also for the hard forking one, but I didn't check if I received that or not.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice.
Well, I don't have any.
He looks devastated.
I am.
Well,
I'm quite disappointed now because obviously I've been quite a big collector of things as a kid as well, and obviously it's going to be fascinating to see whether that same psychology really does take off with these crypto.
Sean, for Bonk, they're doing one now. It's a second wave of the liquidity providing. So if you're staking, I think like 500 bonks or something like that.
I have staked 500 bonk. Yep.
No, it's not staking.
On Uniswap.
No, you got to LP it, not stake.
Yeah, on Uniswap.
Do the LP. So you need equal parts bonk and equal parts ETH.
No, I haven't done that.
Well, if that is an ongoing now that there is to receive like an NFT over there.
Right, we're getting nitty gritty there that people are just not going to have a clue what we're talking about. But let's maybe tighten it up a wee bit back to sort of for me the difference with what we've got from Vesser. I don't really see it as a collectible. I do see that as potentially a really good investment.
They're two completely different things. Like because you got like, as I was saying, you have three types of NFTs right now. You got like the ones that have like a usage, like a in-game items or stuff like
the
that.
land we have from Axie.
Correct. Then you got like the collectibles things. So like the NFTs from Bonks, for example, those to me are collectibles. You do a specific action, you receive an NFT, and there are many of those. And then there is like the final step, which is like, for example, the Vesa piece of art, and those are piece of art.
Yeah.
Like, so is that an investment? Yes, 100% it is an investment, as you would buy like any other paint or a statue or anything else relating to the artwork. How do you value that? Well, have no idea about that neither, because like it's one, I'm not in the traditional art scene or anything like that. But the point of that to me is that I would not even consider that as an investment. Like, there is something on a piece of art that is completely different than, like, you know, the pure return of investment.
True.
It's the simple fact that, like, it's true. A lot. Jordan was mentioning, for example, that Matty was like, oh, I keep them on my wallet because he's not displaying them and so on. To me, is like, yeah, you own it. I don't care if, like, I don't have to display the NFTs that I own. As long as I own that, I'm happy with that, because they're a beautiful piece of art and I enjoy watching them. I can literally be sitting down on my own screen and just look at my collection and be happy with that. Would I do that for money or for an investment or a return? Potentially, maybe. But that's not, to me, why people should get the hard part of the NFTs, because there is histories, because they support an artist, is because they are a tiny stepping stone of an industry that is going to be evolving and getting to a new level that nobody knows right now. Like, there is so much more than the simple, oh, you buy this, you flip that, and you make like your 2x, 3x, or 5x. At least, like, that's my personal opinion on.
But I also like the fact with Vessa's piece of art, you know, it's fantastic to look at, and I think it's great to put on our website, and, you know, across our media as, you know, a great piece of crypto art. It's such an exciting space. You know, we really are right at the beginning of this. You know, if you asked me a year ago, would I own some land in a game? I think you're fucking insane, but yeah, I do. And, you know, listening to DCL Blogger yesterday, looks like that's a pretty damn good investment. I'm really happy we've got that from actually. I wish we had some more to you know, obviously we don't talk about our private accounts, but yeah, I'm looking at what I got on my competition wallet to potentially get some more axes and some land there. You know, this new digital world is moving fast. It's fascinating to be following it with a front row seat like we are. Lisa, any questions for the guys on crypto art or NFTs?
No, it's just, I think I really need to do a lot more research, like, as to sort of how it works and you know, how you're staking it and how, yeah.
I got an idea, Lisa. We could
What's
do a collaboration. I'll do a portrait for you. Like a cartoon portrait, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever you want. You can make it all cartoony or whatever. And then you can auction it. And you put it up on OpenSeas. That'll be, you create an NFT.
Oh, really? That sounds cool.
And then you could show your fan base there. Put all the rockets and the stars in there. Some whales and some bears.
That'd actually be cool. We can probably do that for charity or something.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah, let's do a commissioned NFT. You know, you can help me with the themes and I'll draw it up and paint it all up nicely. Yep. We can mint it quite easily. And then, you know, you can do a limited edition run of like 1 of 5 or just 1 or 10, right? Or
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds actually really awesome. And then, you know, we can sort of showcase how this all works and I can learn.
Exactly. I think the fascinating thing for us is to really try and show an audience, hey, where you buy these things, how do you value them? We're so early here. So having these practical examples, that's awesome. That's an amazing offer. Thanks, Johnny.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. So on another note, ETH is just broken out and we are just coming back down to retest. So looking good. BTC is hit resistance and it's holding at the moment. So that is really good as well.
Right. So just wrapping the show up, what is the current price of those two?
So BTC on Bitfinex is 12 to 55 and
sorry, what 12.5?
12 to 55.
12 to 55. Okay.
Yeah, and then Ethereum is 381.58.
Higher on both than Prime.
Right. So
yeah, both looking really good.
Your fingers on the trigger, ready to make some moves.
I've just moved my stop up, so I'm sitting pretty.
Interesting. Okay.
We've got some nice profits for
we'll endeavour to get it done as quickly as possible. But if not, still very interesting for the audience to see how you played it. So how are you going to play it, Johnny Gonzo?
Well, I'm looking about taking a bit of profit here on my ETH because I'm up another 20%. It's crazy. And Bitcoin's still sideways.
What sort of margin were you using?
I'm only using 17% of my available margin.
Okay, so you're higher than what I use. I use about between 7 to 10%.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm only up that much since just DCAing on ETH.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ETH was dipping. I'm like, okay, buy another couple. Oh, it's dipping again. Buy another couple.
Yeah.
But now we're moving up, so it's looking very nice.
Yeah, once again,
Very
thank you,
nice.
primexbt, for coming on board for another month and giving Mr. Gonzo a second chance to show us how awesome he is. And he has been awesome.
Yeah. Well, I had an awesome first week and then
Oh,
a shocking second week.
You've
and,
fought your way back, Lisa.
I'm nearly back. I'm nearly back. So, you know,
Evil.
I'm nearly back at break even, which is nice. So I'm just a little bit away. And yeah.
Mm.
We've all had to dig
I
out of
think
those ditches.
everyone, we started the show 8 weeks ago and everything went off a cliff. It was
It did. It was a shocker. It was
I love
just
the
like,
opening.
oh.
Are you ready for the next bull run? No, we're not.
exactly right.
Yeah, everyone was wrecked. And if anyone made money in that, because there was nobody was shorting, and it was like they were lying. They were clearly lying.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was longs. We should have known better. Longs were at 89% or something. It was just whale's paradise going, we're going to kill the longs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, listen, thanks very much, team. Sorry I've been a bit flat today, not feeling the best, but obviously the market's cheered me up a bit. And listen, thank you to Visser for that wonderful donation.
Also, before that, thank you to whoever donated the 20 extra X, the $20 in X from the.
I think we had three donations in total from that community.
Do you have the names so we can actually like we did?
No, I
that
don't
with
know.
the-
I don't know who they are. But
The
listen,
first one is completely anonymous through a mixer, and
right.
it's probably our friend, Sir Richard.
Right.
But you know, it's the same as the origin address. He's not going to let you know about that. Oh yeah, there is an.
I got all I'll say on HEX for this first week is it's up 30%. I've staked the bulk of mine longer term. The engagement from that community is far outweighed the
speaking of which, thank you also for the bonk donation that we received this week as well.
No kidding. Yep,
Yes.
we staked that right away.
Yep. That's that has in fact enabled us to keep the show going and pay our editors. Yep. Thank you very much to the HEX community for the epic donation. We'll be following you guys on the weekly. Thank you to Vesta for that amazing piece of art. Thank you to Bonk for a random donation, which has really helped us with our running costs. Believe it or not, the show does make a loss when we factor in what it costs us to produce. So the support from these communities is great, massively appreciated. And because of that, we will be seeing you next week, everybody. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lisa.
1 BTC and 32 ETH.